Hello there guys, welcome back to another maths video. In this video we're looking at something from probability. It's called the partition theorem. So let me just make the statement and then we're going to talk about the details. So let A be an event and B1, B2, B3 all the way up to Bn be a disjoint partition of omega, the sample space, with the probability of each Bi being greater than 0. Then the probability of A is the sum of the probabilities of A given each Bi times the probability of Bi. And that's for each I from 1 to n. Okay, this is incredibly important. It might look a bit arbitrary, a bit abstract. Very, 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 very important theorem from probability. We're going to prove it. There might be a few questions you've got, like, what is a disjoint partition? So I'm going to write that down as well. I just didn't want to have it all at the beginning straight away because I think that might be a bit distracting. But let's write down what a disjoint partition is. So a bunch of events, B1, B2, B3, up to Bn, form what you call a disjoint partition if their intersections with one another are always empty. So that means that Bi intersect Bj is always the empty set as long as I is not equal to j. Okay, obviously if I was equal to j, then they would be the same set, so their intersection would absolutely not be empty. But if they're different, so B1 and B2 for example, the intersection is absolutely empty. That's literally what disjoint means. And a partition means that you are splitting the sample space up totally. So the second condition is that the union of all of those Bi's is just the sample space. So the union from I equals 1 up to n of all of those Bi's is simply equal to omega. In other words, the probability of being in the union is 1, okay? If I took a probability on both sides, probability of this equals the probability of this. Probability of getting the sample space is the number 1 because you have to get something. So basically they form the entire sample space. Okay, that's what it means. So nothing gets left out. The probability of being in one of the Bi's is 1. That's basically all it means. So let's just revisit the definition, make sure it makes sense again. So if our events B1, B2, B3 up to Bn are a disjoint partition of omega, and as long as all of the probabilities of Bi are positive, then we have this way of rewriting A. And you'll see, again, it might be a bit arbitrary. You will see, guys, this is incredibly important. Very, very useful, used all the time. So let's actually go ahead and see if we can prove it. Okay, so in blue on the right-hand side, I've written what we're trying to get to. Let's begin the proof. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to define a new set C, and I'm going to say, or Ci, and I'm going to say that Ci is defined to be the intersection of A and Bi. Now, what I'm going to do is make a case to you that the Ci's are all disjoint with each other as well. In other words, as long as I is not equal to j, the intersection of a Ci and a Cj is again the empty set. I'm just going to show that to you right now, just to because it's part of the proof. So if I say that I is not equal to j, and then I do Ci and I intersect it with Cj, well, what is that? Well, it's the intersection of A and Bi intersect A and Bj. Now, that's quite a lot of intersections. So in order for something, an element, to be in this whole thing, it needs to be in A and Bi and A and Bj. So it needs to be in A and Bi and Bj, basically. So this is A, the intersection of A and Bi and Bj. But guys, remember, we know that if I and j are not equal, then these are empty. So this is the empty set, and then the intersection of A and the empty set is just the empty set. So this is empty. That's going to come up in a second. Now I'm interested in the union of all of those Ci's. So I'm going to go from I equals 1 to n of the union of the Ci's, and we're going to see what happens. So this is equal to the union from, again, I equals 1 to n of the intersection of A and Bi. Now, I've actually just made a video on this. This is called the distributive law for sets. But if you have a union of a bunch of intersections, you can rewrite it like this. So it's A and then intersect the union of all of the BI's, okay? If you're interested in a proof of this, it's my previous video. So, and I'll leave a link to it in the description as well. So this is a proof from set theory. It might just make sense to you. You might not care too much, but if you do want to see a proof, as I say, link will be in the description. Now, why did we do this? Well, this union here of all of the BI's, remember, because the BI's form a disjoint partition, what that means is that the union of all of those BI's is again just omega. So this is A intersect the sample space omega. And what is that? Well, if an element is in both A and just the sample space, that just means it's in A. So this is just A, okay? A intersect the sample space is just A. So we have that the union of all of these CI's is just A. What does that mean? Well, it means that we can take a probability on both sides. So we can say that the probability, I'm going to put A on the left, the probability of A is the same as the probability of the union from I equals 1 to n of those CI's. And remember, that's just the same thing as the sum from I equals 1 to n of the probability of each of those CI's. The reason for that is because of this is basically an axiom of probability that this is true. So if you have a bunch of disjoint events, we know that the CI's are disjoint, that's where this has come back. We know that the CI's are all disjoint with each other. If you take the probability of the union of them, it's the same as just adding up the probability that you're in each individual one. So the probability that you're in C1 plus the probability that you're in C2, that's just the probability that you're in the union of all of them. This is just literally an axiom of probability. This is the third axiom of probability that this is true. And guys, remember what CI actually is, and we're basically done. So the probability of A is the sum from I equals 1 to n of the probability. And again, we said that CI was A intersect BI. And we know already that the probability of A given B is simply the probability of the intersection of A and B divided by the probability of B. This is literally just the conditional probability formula. Everyone knows it. So this sum can be replaced by the sum from I equals 1 to n. And then just by literally moving this around, timesing both sides by the probability of B, I get left over with the probability of A given BI times the probability of BI, like that. And that concludes the proof. So that proves, and I'll zoom out, you can see it, that proves that the probability of A is the same as the sum of the probabilities from 1 to n of the probability of A given BI times the probability of BI. This is incredibly important, so make sure that you understand it, make sure that you know how to use it. And actually, in the next video, we'll go even better. We'll actually do a quick example of a reason why you might want to use this. And I'll see you there. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Cheers.